So one of the most critical things that we can understand when it comes to negative thoughts is that our mind will use any trick it can to get us to believe in the thoughts that we are having. Because so long as we believe in the thoughts, then we can remain as a source of fuel for our monster mind. Because when we believe in the thoughts, we have interest in the thoughts, and we focus our attention on what we are interested in. And the more we focus our attention on our negative thoughts, the more we are going to have negative emotional responses to those negative thoughts. And so what this does is that it causes all of our energy, our life force, to be siphoned by these negative thoughts. First, because our brain uses a lot of energy, it uses a lot of electricity, because our thoughts are electrical impulses. And so if our mind is going all around, all crazy, all day, then that's going to use a lot of energy. And on top of that, if we have negative emotional responses to our negative thoughts, well then emotions take a toll on our body as well. And then what happens is that our body believes us to be in danger. So it puts us in a state of fight or flight. And so this channels all of our energy toward short-term survival. And if we stay in this state long enough, we manifest depression, we create illness in our life. Because our life energy is being taken away from us. And whether or not you believe in demons or the devil, it doesn't really matter so much, because the result is still the same. There is still this force in our mind that's stealing our energy. And the crazy thing is that we are permitting it. We are giving our mind consent to take our energy. And how do we do this? It's through our belief. It's through our belief in the story that our mind is trying to tell us. So long as there is an interested party, the monster mind will continue to try and sell us whatever story it can, so that we keep putting our attention in a direction that is killing us. And so whatever stories your mind is trying to get you to believe, you can't entertain those stories. The only reason that this problem is able to continue and thrive is because you're buying the story. Because if there was no one there to entertain the thoughts, then the monster mind has no reason to keep trying to attack you. And so we have to get to this space where we have created such a disidentification with our thoughts and with our mind that we are no longer interested in what the mind is selling. And so long as we keep buying, the mind's going to be there, ready to sell. But the moment you stand your ground and say, you know what, I'm not buying this anymore. I'm not interested in what you're selling. I'm not going to entertain these thoughts, because I know what the monster mind is up to. I know what it's trying to do. If you choose to give it your attention, it will gladly steal your energy. And at the same time, the monster mind is giving you the opportunity not only to be aware of any problems psychologically or whether or not we have a disturbed instinct or, some trauma in our body, but also to help us awaken and to look within and to find freedom. Because the more we are deeply suffering, the more we have the desire to seek liberation from that suffering. And if you really pay close attention, you'll see this negative force within us manipulating our lives, planting seeds, trying to get us engaged in self-destructive behavior. If you really pay attention, you'll see it. But most people, they just keep reacting to their outer environment. They keep just reacting to their life circumstances, and they never stop and pay attention. And the problem that this creates is that we're always just getting pulled in all these different directions because of our emotions. And we can get caught our whole lives just reacting, never consciously creating the reality that we desire. And so one of the first steps in taking our power back and creating the life that we want to live is that we have to begin mastering our emotions. And in the case with negative thoughts, we can look at this from a very practical perspective, and that is that we must address our autonomic nervous system, because when it believes that we are in danger, it's going to steal our energy. Not on purpose, not like the monster mind. It's just doing its job to keep us safe. And so we want to be able to switch from our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight, to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and relaxation. Because when we can rest, we can recover. We can keep our energy, and we can restore our energy. And so one practice that we can implement in our lives is just practice deep breathing. Whenever you feel anxious or on edge or nervous, just take 7 deep breaths and count. 1, 2, up to 7. And by doing this, you will begin calming down the body. And the more you can make this a habit, the more easily you can switch off the sympathetic nervous system. And the quicker you can help your body realize that it's not in danger, is the quicker you will recover, and to prevent your energy from being siphoned. Another technique is, of course, meditation. So when we are meditating, when we are, let's say, focusing on the breath or focusing on our inner presence, we can create some space from our thoughts so we aren't so reactive, because it is in that reactivity that we create negative emotional responses. And so when we develop the power to focus our attention on what we want, well, then we can take our focus away from our negative thoughts. And what meditation allows us to do is it allows us to watch our thoughts come and go like clouds passing through the sky. Because we realize that they're just thoughts. Even if they are appearing to be negative, it's still just a thought. Some clouds are, some clouds are fluffy and white, and some clouds are dark and heavy. But does the sky perceive those clouds as different than one another? It's all just a happening. And so we have to realize that it is our minds that create the labels. We create the judgments, and we comment about what we are perceiving. And that is why our mind can steal our energy. Again, because it's the story that we are choosing to believe in. It's the self-judgment. It's the judgment of the thoughts. And to not perceive your thoughts as negative is not an easy thing to do at first, because we are so attached to a certain identity that believes in the thoughts. And what you will notice is that our monster mind will always attack our personal identity. It will always know exactly the right pain points to get our attention. It will always understand exactly what to say to get your interest. And that is the game that is being played. And so the mind will never stop trying to get your attention, so long as it believes that there is someone there who is a potential buyer. And your job is to do everything in your power to take away your attention from those negative thoughts, so you don't have negative emotional reactions. So you can allow the negative thoughts to be there, but they don't mean anything to you. Another thing that we can use to help get our body in a more relaxed state is humor. Because if you think about it, if you're laughing and if you're having kind of a good time, you can't also be in a state of fight or flight. The two don't go together. And so if you can develop your sense of humor, and so you can look at your negative thoughts and how extreme or random they can be sometimes, it's actually not too difficult to find the humor in it. You might think, oh man, if anybody heard this, the more lighthearted you can be about it, the less effect it's going to have over you. And not only that, but you can turn it into a positive. But so long as we take our thoughts so seriously, they will continue to make us suffer. And sometimes what that means is that we're taking ourselves too seriously. Because life isn't meant to be so heavy all the time. Life can be lighthearted and playful, and we can enjoy life. But we have to get out of these deep negative states. If we want to enjoy life, we have to become free from suffering. A lot of this is just remaining in the present moment and allowing everything to just be. To allow ourselves to just be as we are now. Because the more that we are resisting the present moment, the more our mind is getting caught in some kind of future projection or a story, or it's getting stuck in the past about, oh, this person did this to me, or this thing happened, and so it is our mind that is creating the suffering. It is not our experience. It is always our reaction to the experience. It is our attitude toward life that creates suffering. And this might not be relevant to you at this moment because oftentimes we are so conditioned into just accepting life as, oh, that's just the way it is. But no, that's just the way we are. And we can change. And we can be free from suffering because it is our choice to judge ourselves, to judge our thoughts, to allow ourselves to be stuck in the past or projecting out into the future. Because the present moment is here right now. What is preventing you from being here? Well, it is your desire and your habit of thinking about the past and the future. of getting caught in the story that we tell ourselves. And what this really comes down to is choosing where we want to focus our energy. Because you can point your attention in any direction you like. And if your life isn't the way you want it to be, that means you've been focusing on the things that you don't want. Because the more you focus on something, the more energy you give to it, the more life you give to it. And that is the whole point of manifestation. That is how we manifest our lives. Because our consciousness is the creative force of reality. And so we create by focusing our attention on whatever it is that we choose. And don't get me wrong, there are many things out there and in the mind that will be there to distract you, to take your attention away. And that is how this universe was designed. Because without that force trying to steal our energy, we would have no reason to take control over our power. And so one of the greatest things we can do is begin reframing our perspective and our attitude toward life. To realize that there is good and that there is bad in all things, and it is a choice. It is a choice to where we focus our attention. And so if life isn't going the way you want it to, it's time to take your power back.